The stone under your bare feet is cold, even under the morning sun. You can feel it climbing into your body, slow and steady, like the city itself is touching you. No one speaks. The courtyard is wide, open, and empty, except for the women. 31 of them. They stand in straight lines, shoulder to shoulder, not because they were told to, but because they learned very quickly that disorder brings consequences. Their clothes are simple. Their hair is loose. Their hands are empty. No chains, no ropes, no guards standing close. That is what makes it worse. 3 days ago, this place was not silent. There were screams then. Smoke. Fire. The sound of houses collapsing and voices disappearing one by one. The march ended hours ago. The shouting stopped with it. Now there is only waiting. Waiting is the punishment Sparta prefers. From the far side of the courtyard, a man walks toward them. He does not hurry. He does not look at any woman for long. His red cloak moves gently behind him, clean and bright against the gray stone. He does not need to say his name. His presence explains everything. When he speaks, his voice is dry and sharp, like stone scraping stone. "You are no longer wives," he says. The words fall flat. No anger, no insult, just fact. You are no longer Athenians. Everything you were is finished. No one cries. No one protests. Melina does not move. She has already learned that stillness is safer than hope. In this place, pain does not come from sudden violence. It comes from understanding what is about to happen and knowing you cannot stop it. As the man turns and walks away, something changes in the air. Not fear, not chaos, order. Sparta does not scream. Sparta organizes. And as the women are quietly separated and led toward different doors, Melina realizes the most terrifying truth of all. Her fate was decided long before she ever stepped into this courtyard. Stay with us till the end for valuable insights. Like, subscribe, and share to support the channel. The city of Sparta does not celebrate victory the way other cities do, and it does not mourn defeat either. After the battle, after the fires, after the shouting ends, Sparta becomes quiet. Not peaceful, controlled. Melina feels this control the moment she is moved from the courtyard. No one touches her roughly. No one shouts orders. The Spartan women guiding them use only small gestures. A hand raised, a step forward, a pause. Each gesture is enough. The women walk across stone paths that feel older than memory. The buildings are made of heavy blocks, stacked without decoration. No carvings, no colors, nothing meant to inspire joy or pride. Everything is built to last, not to please. Melina keeps her eyes lowered. She counts her steps without realizing it. Counting gives her mind something solid to hold on to. In Sparta, the mind needs anchors. They are led into a long stone building. Inside, the air is cool and smells faintly of water and clean stone. There are no windows at eye level. Light enters from narrow openings high in the walls, too small to look through. This is not a prison, Melina realizes. Prisons are made to restrain the body. This place is made to settle the mind. The women are guided into a shared room. Simple beds line the walls. No blankets. No personal space. Just enough room to exist. The door closes without sound. Still, no one speaks. Melina sits slowly on one of the beds. Around her, other women do the same. Some stare at the floor. Some close their eyes. Some sit very straight, as if posture alone might protect them. No one cries. Sparta has already taken that from them. Food comes later. Bread, water, enough to survive, not enough to feel full. Melina notices the careful balance. Hunger that keeps you aware. Strength that keeps you useful. This is not neglect. It is design. As night comes, the room grows darker. There are no torches left burning. Darkness is allowed, but confusion is not. The women learn this quickly. Molina lies down on the hard surface. Sleep does not come easily. Every sound feels loud in the quiet. Every movement feels risky. Her body remains tense, ready, as if sleep itself could be a mistake. Memories push forward when the world goes still. 3 days ago, she was somewhere else. She had a home, walls warmed by cooking fires, children who ran across the floor without fear, a husband who spoke of strategy and politics, not survival. That life feels unreal now, not because it was small, but because Sparta has made it irrelevant. Here, names do not matter. Histories do not protect. Love does not give strength. Only usefulness does. Molina understands this before anyone explains it to her. And that understanding is the first thing Sparta takes from every captive. Hope, not by crushing it, but by quietly making it unnecessary. At some point during the night, Molina realizes something else. Something colder. Something heavier. No one has told her what will happen next. And yet, her body already knows. Because Sparta does not threaten. Sparta prepares. And preparation, Molina senses, is far more dangerous than violence. Morning arrives without sound. There is no bell, no call, no command. Light simply enters the room, thin and pale, sliding down the stone walls from openings too high to reach. The women stir slowly, not because they are told to, but because they understand that delay invites attention. And in Sparta, attention is never a gift. Molina sits up before anyone else moves. She adjusts her posture carefully. Not proud, not weak, neutral. In this place, extremes are dangerous. The door opens. 2 Spartan women enter. They do not look angry. They do not look kind. Their faces carry the blank calm of routine. This is not the first group they have processed. It will not be the last. One woman gestures. The movement is small but clear. The first name is spoken. A woman stands and follows. The door closes again. One by one, the women are taken. No explanations are given. No reassurance is offered. This silence forces the mind to work alone. Molina understands the purpose immediately. Fear grows best where imagination has no boundaries. When Molina's turn comes, she rises smoothly. She does not hesitate. She is led down narrow stone corridors. The path curves enough that she cannot see what lies ahead. Every turn removes another piece of certainty. The room she enters is small and clean. A stone table stands in the center. A low bench beside it. A vessel of clear water rests near the wall. Nothing else. A woman waits inside. Older. Strong. Her movements are precise, practiced. She does not ask Molina to sit. Molina sits anyway. The woman begins to speak, not like someone asking questions, but like someone checking items from a list. Name, age, health, family history. The words are simple. The meaning behind them is not. Molina answers clearly, calmly. She does not offer more than is required. She knows now that too much information can be just as dangerous as too little. As she speaks, the woman marks symbols onto a wax tablet. She never looks up. She never reacts. The symbols mean nothing to Molina, and that is the point. Knowledge belongs to the system, not to those inside it. When the questions end, the woman nods once. The younger woman steps forward and gestures for Molina to stand. That is all. No verdict. No judgment. Yet Molina understands that something important has happened. She has not been examined as a person. She has been assessed as material. Outside, faint sounds drift through the stone walls. Not screams, not words, just controlled noises. Breathing, movement, quiet emotion held tightly inside. Sparta does not need to shout. It relies on anticipation. Back in the shared room, the women sit in silence again. No one compares experiences. No one asks questions. Silence becomes a shield. Speaking risks revealing fear, weakness, or curiosity. All three are dangerous. Food arrives again. Measured, controlled, sufficient. Molina eats slowly. As she does, she begins to understand Sparta more clearly than any story ever described. This city is not cruel by impulse. It is cruel by design. Violence here is not chaotic or emotional. It is efficient. Sparta does not destroy unnecessarily. It preserves what it can use. That night, as darkness returns, Molina feels the weight of certainty settle in her chest. Something has already been decided. Not what she wants, not what she fears, what the city needs. She does not know the details, but she knows the rule now. In Sparta, your future does not belong to you. It belongs to whatever purpose the system assigns. Time moves differently in Sparta. Not faster, not slower. More precisely, days do not blend together. They repeat with small changes, like a pattern adjusted again and again until it fits perfectly. Molina begins to notice this pattern quickly. The system does not rush. It refines. Each morning, the women are separated and taken to rooms identical to the first. The questions continue. Different women. Same tablets. Same calm voices. Details are taken. Cycles noted. Bodies observed not with curiosity, but with calculation. Molina understands what is happening long before anyone explains it. She is no longer seen as a person. She is a function being defined. No one ever says this out loud. In Sparta, clarity comes from absence. When a truth is obvious, it does not need words. The realization brings fear, but also focus. Fear without direction is useless. Focus, however, has value. Molina learns how to speak in a way that costs her nothing. Short answers, stable tone, no emotion placed where it can be read. She keeps her thoughts inside, arranged neatly, like tools hidden in cloth. She notices how some women break. Not loudly, quietly. Their posture shifts. Their eyes linger too long on doors that never open for them. They begin to hesitate before answering. Sparta sees hesitation as inefficiency. Those women are taken somewhere else. No one sees them again. The building itself teaches lessons. Every wall is smooth but cold. No edges to cling to. No marks to count time by. There is no beauty to distract. Only function. That is the city's language. One afternoon, Molina is returned not to the shared room, but to an inner courtyard. Smaller than the first. More controlled. Fewer exits. A Spartan woman stands waiting. Younger. Strong. Her stance reveals years of discipline carved into muscle. She does not threaten. She informs. "My name is Gorgo," she says. In Sparta, names are shared only when useful. Gorgo explains everything in short sentences. The evaluations have been completed. The markings reviewed. Decisions made. Molina listens carefully. She has been classified as suitable. Not equal. Not free. Useful. She will be placed into a household. A secondary structure. Her purpose will serve the state through a Spartan citizen. If she cooperates, she will live. If she does not, she will be reassigned. Gorgo does not describe what reassignment means. She does not need to. In Sparta, what is unnamed is often the most dangerous. Molina nods once. Not in agreement. In understanding. She sees something unsettling then. Gorgo does not view herself as cruel. She does not see Molina as a victim. She sees herself as necessary. Part of a machine that must continue moving. That is Sparta's greatest strength. And its greatest horror. Later, Molina is taken through streets that never change. Buildings repeat. Paths loop. Familiarity replaces curiosity. The city offers no sense of direction, only function. They stop at a house built like all the others. Stone. Clean. Permanent. A man waits inside. He is not young. Not old. His body carries density, not size. His eyes assess without interest. His name is Cleomenes. He does not speak of emotions. He speaks of order. Stability. Continuation. Molina mirrors his restraint. She answers plainly. She does not challenge. She does not submit. Cleomenes notices. In Sparta, noticing is rare. Days pass, then weeks. The arrangement becomes routine. Cleomenes comes and goes. He speaks of crops, of training, of city matters. Molina listens. Occasionally, she asks questions framed as practical details, not doubts. Cleomenes begins to speak more, not because he trusts her, but because she does not require performance. She is invisible, and invisibility, Molina realizes, can become power. Slowly, carefully, she understands the truth. To survive in Sparta, obedience is not enough. One must become indispensable. The moment a system notices you, everything changes. Molina feels it before anyone says a word. The house grows quieter, not empty, watchful. Movements that once passed without attention now carry weight. Pauses feel measured. Silences feel evaluated. In Sparta, attention is never random. Cleomenes begins returning at unusual hours. Not late, not early, irregular. Molina understands the reason immediately. Irregularity prevents pattern. Pattern allows prediction. Sparta dislikes being predictable. When he sits in the courtyard, he does not face her directly. He speaks outward, toward the open space, as if the city itself is listening. He talks about campaigns, about land management, about how the city preserves strength across generations. He does not speak of loyalty or honor. He speaks of efficiency. Molina listens. She has learned that listening is not passive. It is work. It is how one gathers information without inviting danger. When she responds, she does so carefully, not with opinions, with observations framed as practical details. Cleomenes notices the difference. He does not say it, but he begins to stay longer. This change does not go unseen. Spartan women observe quietly. Their glances linger for half a breath longer than before. Information moves in this city without sound. Molina understands that every moment of visibility is a risk. Then the summons comes. No warning, no explanation. Two men arrive. They do not rush her. They do not threaten. They escort her through streets that feel smaller than before, narrower, as if the city itself is closing in. The chamber is cold even by Spartan standards. No decorations, no symbols, only 5 seats arranged in a curve. One chair stands alone opposite them. Molina is told to sit. The Efers do not introduce themselves. They do not ask how she feels. They speak as if continuing a conversation that began long before she arrived. They say time is passing. They say expectations exist. They say results have not yet appeared. Their voices are calm. Their words are precise. This is not accusation. It is accounting. Then a name is mentioned. Lysander. No explanation follows. The weight of the name does the work. Molina has heard it whispered in the night. Always quietly. Always followed by silence. A request has been made, the Efers explain. An unusual one. Granting it carries risk. Denying it carries risk as well. They present this not as a choice, but as a transfer of responsibility. Whatever happens next, the city will remain clean. Molina understands the trap. Both paths lead to loss. One is immediate. The other is delayed. She chooses the path she understands. She remains where she is. The Efers nod, not in approval, in confirmation. When she returns to Cleomenes' house, the air is heavier. He has been informed. Not fully, never fully, but enough. They speak little that night. Silence becomes language again. Finally, Cleomenes says what neither can ignore. The margin has narrowed. The city does not wait forever. Molina understands the meaning clearly. Usefulness must become necessity. That night, Molina makes a decision without speaking it aloud. She stops waiting. She stops holding back. not with emotion, with calculation. She does not resist. She accelerates. If the system demands proof, she will provide it. Not as submission, as strategy. Because in Sparta, survival does not come from courage. It comes from understanding exactly how the machine works and placing yourself where removal would cause disruption. After the summons, nothing feels accidental anymore. Every step Molina takes feels recorded, even when no one is watching. Sparta does not need constant surveillance. It relies on memory, on habit, on the certainty that the system never forgets. Molina adjusts her behavior with care. Not dramatically, not suddenly. Change in Sparta must be gradual, or it is seen as weakness. She follows instructions exactly. Not more, not less. Every action becomes precise. Every response measured. She understands now that usefulness is not about effort. It is about reliability. Cleomenes begins to defend his household in public spaces. Not emotionally, not personally. He uses the language Sparta respects. Efficiency, stability, future value. He speaks of resources, not people. And it works. Others begin to associate Molina not with risk, but with order. That association is fragile, but real. In Sparta, perception often matters more than truth. Molina also notices how Cleomenes changes. He does not soften. He does not rebel. But he begins to think. That alone is dangerous. He asks questions now. Quiet ones. Technical ones. Questions that sound harmless, but reach deeper than he realizes. Molina answers carefully. She never pushes. She lets him arrive at his own conclusions. Sparta has trained its citizens to obey without reflection. The moment reflection begins, even briefly, the system weakens. But Molina knows the danger. She cannot let Cleomenes cross a line too quickly. Sudden change attracts attention. She needs him steady, protected, useful to the city, useful enough to protect her. Days tighten into a strict rhythm. Adjustments are made. Visits from Spartan women arrive in the form of instruction, never criticism. Molina follows every directive. Her compliance becomes predictable. Predictability creates trust. Trust creates dependence. She understands now the truth that Sparta never says aloud. The system allows exceptions when removing them would cost more than keeping them. Molina works toward that margin. She stops thinking in terms of survival alone. Survival is temporary. She thinks in terms of continuity. How long can this arrangement continue before it must justify itself again? Because justification is always required. One night, Cleomenes returns late. His posture is rigid. Something has changed. Not in his duties, but in the way others see him. There are whispers now. Quiet assessments. The household is being evaluated again. Molina does not ask questions. She prepares. She anticipates what the city wants before it states the demand. She understands now that delay is the enemy. Proving value early reduces pressure later. Her body, her time, her role, all become part of the argument. This is not surrender. It is positioning. Sparta believes it has reduced her to a function. Molina accepts that reduction, but chooses the most difficult function to replace. Cleomenes begins to rely on her presence. Not emotionally, logistically. Her absence would disrupt routines, schedules, expectations. Small things, invisible things. Those are the hardest to remove. As the weeks pass, Molina senses the shift inside herself. Fear does not disappear. It sharpens. It becomes useful. It reminds her to observe, to adapt, to never relax completely. She understands now that freedom will not come as release. If it comes at all, it will arrive disguised as necessity. And necessity, in Sparta, is the closest thing to safety that exists. Molina lies awake one night, listening to the familiar stillness. She does not dream of escape. She dreams of precision. of timing, of moments when the system hesitates just long enough to be redirected. Because in a city built like a machine, even the smallest misalignment can matter. And Molina has placed herself very carefully. Time in Sparta is measured not in hours or days, but in opportunities. Every glance, every word, every movement carries weight. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is accidental. Molina feels this acutely. She has learned to move like the city itself, calculated, precise, and invisible until necessary. She has survived by understanding the machine, by anticipating its needs, by occupying a space the city does not expect her to. That space is small, almost invisible, but it exists. And in Sparta, even the smallest margin can hold power. Cleomenes enters the room quietly. He no longer carries the same weightless authority he had before. Something in his movements is different. The other men notice it too. They do not speak, but they watch. Even the smallest sign of deviation in Sparta is observed and assessed. Molina does not flinch. She meets his eyes with calm. Not challenge, not submission, recognition. The system has noticed her. That is the first step toward influence. But influence comes with risk. Any misstep can erase everything. Survival here is fragile, balanced on an invisible edge. She knows the consequences, and yet she begins to act with subtle intention. In the courtyard, the rhythm of the city continues. Women move in silence. Children march in precise formation. Soldiers patrol, but even their patrols feel like part of a larger pattern, not random action. Every aspect of life in Sparta is a calculation. It is predictable. It is enduring. It is terrifying. Molina begins to engage in small acts that shift the balance. A suggestion here, an observation there, phrased as necessity, framed as efficiency. She never forces the hand of the city, but she nudges it, ever so slightly. Cleomenes notices and responds, but only within the limits of his authority. Each acknowledgement from him is like a tiny opening in a wall, a crack where influence can enter. Molina measures each carefully. Patience is as important as precision. At night, the room is quiet as always. The silence is thick, almost tactile. Molina lies awake, calculating, planning, watching. She thinks not of revenge or rebellion, but of survival and advantage. The fear she felt upon entering this city has transformed. It is no longer paralyzing. It is active, like a sharp tool, guiding every decision. She recalls the courtyard where it began. The fire, the screams, the march, the crimson cloak. How powerless she felt. How precise, how inevitable everything was. And now, she understands the greatest lesson Sparta ever teaches. Survival is never random. It is earned. It is calculated. It is fought in moments that no one else notices. In shadows, in silences, in the decisions that seem too small to matter. Molina's actions begin to ripple. Small advantages compound. Cleomenes begins to speak more often, to defend decisions he would not have previously. Others in the household adjust subtly. Efficiency increases, tensions ease. These are victories not measured in battle or words, but in stability, in endurance. And they are entirely her making. For the first time, Molina feels a strange clarity. The city still controls her body, her schedule, her immediate future. But it has not, and cannot, fully control her mind. That fragile awareness, the margin between what is demanded and what is chosen, is her true power. In Sparta, a single misaligned piece can halt the machine. She has placed herself precisely there. Dawn enters through the narrow openings, pale light sliding across the cold stone. Molina rises, as she has every morning, steady, deliberate. She does not speak. She does not announce herself. She moves through the space as she always has, measured, silent, effective. And she knows that today, like every day since she arrived, she will endure. Not by luck, not by force, but by intelligence, by understanding, by anticipating, by becoming indispensable. Sparta remains unyielding, ordered, eternal. It does not bend for anyone. It does not pause. It does not wait. But now, Melina has learned to move within it, to shape it subtly, to exist as a necessary piece in a city that never allows individuality, a city that never forgives weakness, a city that never forgets usefulness. The fire of her past life, the home lost, the children gone, the identity erased, has not disappeared, but it fuels a different kind of strength. Not reckless, not loud, precise, calculated, enduring. She has survived. And in a city built to erase people, that survival has become something else entirely. Something dangerous, something unstoppable, something hers.